good, bro. We need a little bit of drink out here. All right. I'm going to start up the intro. You come whenever, all right?
What's that?
I'm going to just get it teed up here. I'm already recording, but that's fine.
All right.
Yeah, basically. But, I mean, this part will just be on there. I find when you watch the news and they're, like, hustling with their papers and, like, joking at the end, that's, like, this vibe. Because the music's on in the background. We're kind of talking shit. But here we go. Huh?
Music on?
No. It's all good. It's
sure?
all good. No. I'm the acoustics in here are perfect. Like, I don't know what it is, but the recording is going to be great. So, Suciotalk, episode 35. We're sitting here in Temporis restaurant with Chef Troy George. Chef, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fucking amazing.
I'm
Thanks
glad
for
to
having
be here.
me.
Thank you for making the trip out
dude.
to talk.
Thanks for pouring me this stiff drink. It's about 8:30 in the morning. No, I'm kidding. It's but he asked me. He's like, "Hey, let's have a drink." And I said, "Well, we've got to start with something strong if it's this early. We can't be sipping on no wine."
Fair enough.
You know? Cheers.
Cheers.
Hell yeah. So, Chef, here on the show, we like talk about your career, what makes you work so hard, but what you're doing now is at Temporis, but we're going to go all the way back to when you were a little niño.
To the fucking Stone Age.
Exactly. So where were you born?
I was born in New Bedford, Mass. It's a seaport.
Okay.
Down like 40 miles south of Boston.
All right.
In Massachusetts.
Very cool.
Right next to the Cape.
All right.
Next to the Kennedy's Hyannisport, their little compound.
All right. And what was growing up like there?
It's a smaller city, so I think we had like 300,000 people. I mean, it's not as big as Chicago, obviously, but it's definitely multicultural. It's got a good mix of everything in there. Like my high school was like 4,000 kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
Like we started with I think it was 1,100 kids, and then we graduated just under 800.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
We had a good mix of everything.
What'd your parents do?
So my dad was a firefighter, and my mom was a legal secretary.
Gotcha. So blue collar working family, brothers and sisters?
I got a brother.
Okay.
Younger, 7 years. He lives in San Diego now. He's
Sweet.
Going to school to be a pilot.
Okay.
But he has a
badass, dude.
He has a degree in teaching. So
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
He's the smarter one of the two.
It's usually the way it works out. The one who's less smart cooks.
Yeah.
So I keep telling people, I'm like, we don't make cell phones. We just make food. I don't know if that's important, but we're gonna treat it as it is. But cool. What was growing up like in your household, eating wise? Was your mom cooking, dad cooking? Were you going out?
No, not really, honestly, because both my parents worked all the time, and then when I was little, they both worked 2 jobs to support me and my brother and get us, clothes on our back and stuff like that. So I never had that cooking background when I was a kid. It was like mac and cheese out of a box.
Understood.
Fucking hot dogs.
Latchkey kids.
Exactly.
Heard.
Exactly.
Same for me, man.
Like I literally went to culinary school not knowing a fucking thing.
Okay, you had no idea.
I thought pine needles were rosemary.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I knew was parsley because my grandmother was Portuguese, so she had that shit growing everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I know what that one is.
That's awesome. So when did you first start having a peak interest in cooking? Was that early?
It was like junior high.
Okay.
I took sewing in junior high and home ec, which was cooking.
Okay.
And I did good in both of them. Originally, I really, really wanted to be a fashion designer, but that kind of took a turn later on in high school.
Fashion designer, okay.
Yeah,
were you dressing well, or what were you doing?
Yeah, I mean, once the end of junior high, and then freshman year in high school, it's all of a sudden you want to wear nice clothes.
Yeah.
You want to chase some girls.
Those Mark Wahlberg commercials were coming out. You're like, yeah, baby.
Yeah. So. But yeah, that's what I really, really wanted to do was be a fashion designer. I went to high school. I set up all my classes like I was going to go to fashion design,
textiles and shit like that.
Yeah, and then me being a punk 15-year-old kid, I didn't get along with my sewing teacher freshman year, and she eventually threw me out of class. And
understood.
I kind of rerouted my stuff.
Yeah.
Then I took a year off of high school. Well, not a year off of college after high school.
Okay.
I got a job in a restaurant.
Got you.
And then that's when I really caught the bug.
Got you. What'd you go to college for?
Oh, I went to culinary school.
Okay, culinary school. Okay, so you're in high school. You decide to go to culinary school. What do your parents say about this?
They were happy that I actually picked something to do
That you liked.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
but I fucked off in high school a lot, so they were like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna pay for 1 year, and then you're gonna pay for 1 year. We're not just gonna pay for everything and throw money out the window.
Exactly.
In high school I would get like C's and D's. My parents would scream and yell at me, punish me. And then I'd get A's and B's. They'd chill, and then I get C's and D's again, and then they fucking bitch. And then I get so that I just never wanted to sit in the classroom.
Yeah, because your mind's always wandering. I was the same, man.
Exactly.
I'm just like looking out the window. I don't give a fuck
still.
what they're talking about.
Yeah,
yeah. Especially the dumbass books they make you read. You know what I mean?
Fucking head.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So you start having this interest, home ec. You go to culinary school. What culinary school did you go to?
I was in Fall River, Mass.
Okay.
Home to the great Emerald Lagasse.
Fall River?
Yeah, Fall River. Yeah, it was a family-owned culinary school. If I would have had the money, I would have went to Johnson & Wales or the CIA, but
Heard.
I had to pay for 1 year on my own. So
yeah, you're like, fuck that. Yeah. Probably the best decision you ever made.
Honestly, because it was a small school. Like, my class was only like 30 people.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of shit. You know what I mean?
You do. When you're in the umbrella of Johnson & Wales, man, all you do is owe money. I mean, you learn how to party because there's enough people there to have massive parties. Yeah. But other than that, it's like, what are we doing here? Just wasting money. But so you go there. Was there anybody that you had in your class that you still talk to today that are chefs doing things out there?
I talked to a couple kids. Like there's one kid that was in my class. He's out in Maine. He's like the corporate chef for a hotel group out of Maine. He's doing really well. Other than that, I don't talk to too many people. We kind of lost.
Heard that
touch over the years.
Yeah. Did you work at any restaurants during your culinary school tenure?
So the culinary school I went to, it was like a family-owned culinary school.
Okay.
It was like the father was Greek, come over from Greece, was like a certified master chef, married this woman, they were loaded, they had these restaurants, then they decided they wanted to open a culinary school. So they had like 3 or 4 restaurants. I worked in their restaurants while I was in culinary school. And then once I graduated, I moved right to Boston like 99 and just worked at hotels and restaurants all over. Got you.
Okay. What was the first restaurant that you worked at?
So I worked at a place called the Seafarers Inn. No, I'm sorry. What's it called? Shit, it's so long ago. Seafarers American Cafe. That was in Newport, Rhode Island.
Oh, no way. Where was that?
It was right where Thames Street and what's that other street?
America's Cup?
Yeah.
The little roundabout?
Right there. Like
that corner.
Yeah, that corner where it ends is like a parking lot there. Well, it might not be there now.
Yeah.
There was a parking lot there, and then there was like set back. There was like a restaurant there.
Got you.
Probably closed now.
I worked at in Newport, Rhode Island, at this place called Tallulah's.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on Thames and...
like right next to the Red Parrot.
Yeah, literally. And then there was that Gary's Diner. Yeah. That was probably there when you were... for sure. Dude, that town is kind of crazy.
Oh, it's crazy. In
the summertime,
it's bananas.
It's like, I've never seen so many people get their ass kicked in the streets.
Oh, man.
As it did in Newport, Rhode Island, bro. Everybody would just be fighting outside. I was like, all right, that's how it is here.
Yeah.
Cool. So what was that experience like? What'd you do? What'd you cook? What'd you prep?
I was kind of like, when you're young, you don't know what you're doing, so you gradually move up the ladders, what you think you're moving up the ladder towards fine dining or whatever. But it was like burgers, it was some plated stuff, but it was a tourist trap. So it was like I think we did 1,500 covers from lunch to dinner.
Oh,
just get your fucking
clam chowder, shuck and oysters,
exactly.
Newport fare. Heard
Flipping
that.
burgers,
When you left there, what was your thinking? Like, am I leaving here to do something better? Were you over it, or were you just like, I think it's time to move on?
I was definitely over it, but I was glad because it built speed.
Like, for sure, 100%.
Like, you know how to go.
Yeah.
After that, you're like, all right.
Who's the chef there?
It was the guy's son.
Okay,
his son, Teddy.
The instructor's son, Teddy
Caruso.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
He's still there, no? In Newport.
He has a diner in Middletown.
Okay.
What's that? Bristol, maybe?
Yeah, Bristol, the next town over.
It's like Blue Plate, I think it is.
Okay, I'll check it out because that name was like.
His dad is George Caruso. He was the chef. I think they still have a big mansion in fucking Newport.
They might, yeah.
But the dad, after the culinary school closed, I think he's like the spokesperson for some seafood company.
Yeah.
That pushes scallops out of New Bedford.
Did you live in Newport? Or did you?
No, I commuted.
You commuted?
To my parents' house.
Jesus, man. Was that like an hour?
Yeah, it was like...
It's about an hour, right?
It was at least 45 minutes.
Yeah.
If you didn't hit any traffic, you're 45 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
There was a couple nights I fucking slept in the parking lot in my car.
I hear you, man. It's like, who's going to drive back after this? I got arrested on right over the Jamestown Bridge.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Rhode Island cops don't play.
Yeah, man, they don't play. That's the only state
Especially
that has...
if you're out of town, forget
Oh,
it.
yeah. That's the only state that has a police department in every city.
Oh, no shit.
Every town, every city has a police department in Rhode Island. That's a police state, man. State patrol is like this revered position. It's crazy. So you leave there. Where do you go?
So after that, I get mixed up, and then I went and worked at their they had like a fine dining spot in Portsmouth called the Seafair Inn.
Oh, okay.
I spent a little time there. And then after culinary school, I went to Boston. I got a job at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel.
Got you.
And then I started out doing, what was it, two overnights.
Okay.
And then 3 breakfast shifts.
What were the overnight shifts like at that hotel?
It was like, they called it, you were a saucier, but I mean, basically you were just putting stocks on, making 40 gallons of hollandaise. Dumb shit like that.
Where do you hold 40 gallons of hollandaise after you make it? Because like that, I'd make a pint and it fucking curdles on the station, bro. 40 gallons. What?
It wasn't really 40 gallons, but I think it was like 2 gallons at the time. But it was crazy. I remember beating that shit with a whisk and be like, oh my god.
Yeah, your arm starts to fall off.
But I was living back home in New Bedford at the time, and then commuting to Boston, and then they started mixing up the shifts. Like all of a sudden, one night you work an overnight, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, can you work lunch the next day?" And I'm like, "Wait a minute, that's 8 hours away." I'm like, "Where am I gonna fucking sleep?"
Yeah, exactly.
So then,
did they ever put you up in any of the rooms, or not really?
I think they put me up twice, and then like when I worked, it was like pretty busy, so it was like there wasn't a lot of rooms available.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Carlton seems to drive a hard bargain.
Yeah, they all drive a hard bargain.
So, how long did you stay there?
I was there for like 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still in that overnight kind of prep shift, or were you cooking on the line at all?
I was there. They moved me to lunches or dinners. I never made it to dinner because they closed the dining room in the hotel, but I was still working like lunch shift or the mid shift.
You know, it's crazy because like back in those days, and I think up until like maybe 10 years ago, working dinner was like the revered, was where you wanted to be.
Yeah,
like if you were working lunch, you were considered a bitch.
Yeah.
You know, that couldn't handle dinner, right? Yeah. But now, lunch and dinner have the same sort of respect.
Yeah.
Whatever shift you have, you know?
Because now, I feel like now it's equally as difficult, too, because everybody's, like, leveled up. It's not just...
I hear you. It's not just lunch and then dinner's better anymore. Yeah, exactly. That is a true thing. Back in the day, lunch was like, hey, what do we got left over? BLT. And then you're like,
what's the soup of the day?
Exactly. Yeah, just blend the shit up that we had yesterday. So you leave the Ritz. Where do you go from there?
So after that, then I got a job. Where the fuck did I go after that? I went to a kosher catering place called Catering by Andrew.
Okay.
Wasn't there very long, and then I kind of fucked around, and then I went to the Four Seasons briefly. I think I was there for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Didn't really like that. And then I got a job at a restaurant called The Federalist, which was like fine dining, tasting menu, and a la carte at the same time.
Was that your first foray into fine dining, sort of? Okay.
Yeah.
What positions did you work there?
I worked the line, I worked saute, and then I worked hot apps, I worked the grill station.
Yeah.
And then they ended up making me a sous chef like a year and a half later.
Okay.
Just over a year.
Who's the chef there?
That was David Daniels.
David Daniels.
Yeah.
Okay. Got you. And when you say fine dining, what year is this?
This is 02.
02? Okay. Yeah. When you say fine dining in those times, like what were you serving? Was there still that caviar, truffle kind of?
Yeah, caviar, truffles, Dover sole, beef Wellington. Boston's like super conservative, old school type stuff.
Yeah. Got you.
Bleuet or whatever.
Yeah. Were you guys getting ingredients from overseas, or what was the market like there? Were you going to farmers markets, or was that not really?
At that place, no. Then once I went over to Clio, worked there for a little bit, and then that was when the first time I saw them like shipping shit in FedEx, like in styrofoam boxes. Like
Got you.
Alaskan king crab and uni and crazy shit.
Okay. What made you go to Clio?
I remember eating there right after I moved to Boston with my girl. And I was just blown away. It was like I mean, obviously they had different styles, but it was like I was like literally flipping through the French Laundry